Okay, welcome back. This is part 19 of my How to Build a Community Site tutorial series. And in part 18, we finished up with some basic cosmetics and some more design of the site and styling, a few different things. Now what we're going to do is on our home page here, which is the page I've chosen to do this on, is I'm going to show you how to display the most recent users that have registered for your site. So I'm just going to be doing this on the home page, so when people actually open the page, come to basixnick.com, it'll actually have something on it other than our navigation. And I have actually updated the source code page, finally, because for a long time it was just this first one. I just added in the other links for the source code. So really for this entire short segments of the series, we only need our index page open, and we're going to be using our connect file. So yeah. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to get rid of, actually, I don't think I'm going to get rid of it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the full content inside of a PHP code block, and the reason being is so I can just comment it out. So I don't have to delete it, I just have to remove that later. Now, if you want, you can comment it out with HTML, but then it still shows up on your site, which I don't want that. So on our left side here, I'm going to get rid of the content inside of that, and so there we go. So I'm going to indent this out. So what I'm going to do is, actually, I'm going to go ahead and open up my CSS file, because we're probably going to need that soon. So we're just going to scroll down here. So inside of here, I'm just going to throw in a PHP code block. So PHP. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to require our connect file. So it's in our requires folder, and then connect.php. So simple. Now we're going to have a query. Query equals, and it's going to be a MySQL underscore query. There we go. So, how we're going to do this is we're going to select all from our users database table, and now that's the name of my table in my database. It could be different for you, but it might be, might not be. And we're going to order by, and we're going to order by the ID. So how mine is set up, and as you very well know, it's my ID for my users table is set to an auto increment. So every time a user registers, it automatically increases by 1. So that's going to be unique to every single user. So yeah, and we want to say DESC. Now the order by and the DESC, that's short for descending. Those must be capital, or else it's not going to work properly. And we're going to say where locked equals, I'm off screen here, where locked equals nothing, so equals 0, that means that the user is not locked, and active equals 1. So what we're doing is we're selecting the most recent users in our database that are not locked and that are active, so they've activated their account. And then we're going to say limit, and then this is a number. Now you can put this as any number you want. For now, I'm just going to set this to 5, so it's going to show me the most 5 recent users that have registered for my site. So then we're going to say $ numRows equals MySQL underscore num underscore rows. So the reason we're putting this in is to make sure that we're not getting some sort of database server error, and we don't want errors being displayed unless it's our own custom error. So yeah, then we're going to put in an if statement, just a generic if statement, and the else is just going to be an echo saying no users were found, I guess. And the inside of the if statement, we're going to say numRows equals, or better yet, we're going to say greater than 5. We'll say greater than 4. We can say greater than or equal to 5. I'll just do that. Greater than or equal to 5. Now this 5, what it is, actually we don't need that, as long as it's greater than 0. So there's at least one user registered, which probably there will be. It'll probably be yourself if there's only one. But anyway, so what we're doing is we're making sure that there's actually users in the database and that our query is returning valid results. And if that is true, we're going to have a while loop, and our while loop is going to contain our fetch associative array, and that's going to be our row variable. If you've watched some of my tutorials before, you know that's how I code. So MySQL underscore fetch underscore sock a double s oc, and then our parentheses, and inside the parentheses is our query. So what we're doing is we're pretty much making an array that's going to get all the results from our query variable and our query, and we're going to store them in a variable called row. Now what we want to do is we want to get the information. Now what we can do is we want to get the information from the database, and now you don't want all the information from the database. You only want the essential parts that we're going to need and that we're going to display. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link off to their profile page, which we haven't created yet, which we're going to start on soon. That's not post, that's row. So what we're doing is we're getting the row value from, or the ID value from the row variable, and we're storing it in the ID variable. So yeah, so we also want the username, and actually you can't put that as username because how our top file is set up, if I open that up, how our top file is set up, we're setting our session username value, and we're setting that variable, we're naming it username. So if you put that as username right here, you'll have problems probably. So we're going to set it to user, and we want to get the username value from the database. I guess that's it for now, and the only other thing we need is an echo statement, and I'm going to make mine a link, but for now it's just going to be a blank link. Oops. And a. So the link I'm just going to put as a pound symbol or a hash symbol, if you will, depending on what country you're in. And inside of here I'm just going to put the user. So it's going to get that. Now since we're getting multiple values, we want to put on a break, a line break. So it's going to put each user on a different line. So pretty simple. So what I'm going to do is, real quick, I'm going to FTP the file. I'm not even going to pause it, I don't care. I'm going to FTP the file. Okay, it's done. And right here, so if we refresh the page, you can see we have a problem. Requires connect. Ooh. That's why. It's not in the requires folder. It's in the scripts folder. Duh. So that's just a mistake on my part. So let's go ahead and FTP that back up, and we're good. And okay, so the reason we're getting this error right here is because of the query variable. Now what we want to do is, I think I might have actually put these things out of order. Actually, yeah. So we're gonna select all from users where locked equals 0 and active equals 1, and we're gonna order it. So just like that. So that will hopefully fix the problem. And FTPing the file. Okay, so there we go. So right there, those are my latest 5 users. Now, since I'm only displaying 5, it's only showing 5. So yeah. Now eventually I will style this, but right quick, I am going to, right above the while, I am going to echo, latest registered users. And we're just going to show on a line break. So just it's real simple in order to do that. So yeah, so I'm going to stop this video here. In the next video we will start on with some other content for the site.